What's up, everyone? Thank you for checking out this episode of Raised a Geek. This week, we're talking about the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special with our friends from Paperweight Entertainment. So let's get into it. I'm Chris, and as always, I'm here with my buddy Don. How we doing, man?
Chris, what is up today, my friend? I'm okay. Everything is good. Just enjoying this evening. Saturday evening. Post-Thanksgiving. For those listening out there, happy Thanksgiving if you celebrated and enjoyed yourself and had all the food and all the drinks and all the family you could take. We made it, all of us.
Hopefully you had no crazy uncles driving you wild.
Aunts, uncles, cousins, whoever you had at your house. I don't know. Me and my wife kind of just chilled this year. I mean, we went to her side of the family, but it wasn't like a big, huge everybody thing that we've done in the past, because I can't take them anymore. I don't know if it's my old age or I'm just too grumpy now. I just can't take a house full of people. I feel like I'm going to explode, but I didn't. It was okay. So yeah, man, Thanksgiving was good. How was yours?
Not too bad. Family, food, everybody would behave themselves. I
Very good.
Had a good time. Played some God of War afterwards. Had a quiet house because nobody was here. Awesome.
Nice.
So as I said in the intro, we have some guests here. We got Derek and Ian from the Paperweight Entertainment. I know the name of the show. Paperweight Entertainment Podcast is here to talk with us today about Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special. How we doing, guys? How was your Thanksgiving?
Mine was pretty good. I'll say that. Ian, how was your Thanksgiving?
Well, funny story that we probably shouldn't get too much into right now, but I usually celebrate with Derek and his family. This year, couldn't do that. Things in the universe were keeping us apart. So I ended up, I went to my dad's for a little bit, which is weird because my dad doesn't you never know if my dad's doing Thanksgiving. He'll just be like, I'm going to Chinese, or I'm going to, like, he used to go to the Ponderosa here in town. So
Nice. Ponderosa.
Yeah, I'm just like, that's so random. He's like, oh, they got turkey dinner and everything. I was like, let those people go home, man. So he calls me up the day before Thanksgiving and says, hey, we're eating at noon tomorrow. I was like, I'm sorry, are you inviting me to your house? And he said, I'm just telling you, we're eating at noon tomorrow. I mean, if you're here, you're here. If not, we're eating at noon tomorrow. So yeah, that's how I got invited to my father's house for.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, for those who aren't aware, we were on Paperweight Entertainment podcast last month, or in October, to do the Werewolf by Night special. We covered it together, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a blast.
Yeah, so we thought this would be a great opportunity for you guys to join us. So yeah, if you want to kind of tell people maybe a little bit about your show, or what you guys are all about and what kind of show you put on, that you guys can go ahead and do that now.
Preferably a song.
I'll take the reins without the song tonight.
Yeah.
So Paperweight Entertainment Podcast, we cover all things television and streaming, superhero related for the most part. Also, we'll do a top 5 segment every now and again about anything that strikes our fancy. We used to do movies as well, but we've actually split into 2 shows. So Paperweight Entertainment is now an organization.
Banner, so to say.
It's the banner. So we have the Paperweight Entertainment Podcast, which Ian and I co-host, and then Ian and Colonel Bob. Yes, he is actually a Kentucky colonel. That's why he's Colonel Bob.
He has been colonelized.
He's got a plaque and everything.
Yeah.
They handle all the movie reviews on the Silver Screen Scoundrels podcast. But yeah, so Paperweight Entertainment, we've been around for right about the exact same amount of time that you guys have been around, as we talked about when you were on our show.
Oh yeah,
and yeah, we cover everything superhero related, streaming and on television. So awesome. That's what we do. Weekly, every Friday.
Very cool.
So definitely prepared to talk and qualified to talk Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, I don't know about qualified. We're prepared. I don't know if we're
qualified.
qualified. Yeah.
Are any of us really qualified?
No,
we think we are anyway.
We're coming post Thanksgiving, so now it's officially the Christmas season. So I wanted to ask, to get us warmed up here, what is everyone's go-to holiday special movie, show, something that you just have to watch somewhere in the next 4 weeks? Ian, since you're closest to me in Zoom, you're going first.
Okay, yeah, not a problem. I could just tell you right now, guaranteed every year. I mean, there's a few, but number one, guaranteed Christmas Vacation.
Good call.
Of
Good
Christmas
call.
Vacation, yeah.
Derek, what you got?
Um,
Unless you have more, Ian.
I was
You have
gonna
more
say,
shout
I
outs
got
you
a few
wanted to do?
No, that's my number one. I want to hear what Derek's is first. If you say a Christmas story, I'm pulling your cord right now.
no, it's not. I do watch A Christmas Story on Christmas Day because it's always on. It's a tradition. But for me, I've got a handful. I will name them off because I like to hear myself talk. Christmas Vacation is the number one. That's my favorite Christmas movie. I also love the How the Grinch Stole Christmas, not the god awful Ron Howard film. I will go on record and say that movie is a terrible blight on humanity. I know that I'm in the minority, but that movie does not understand the point of the story. Giving the Grinch a backstory takes away everything from him. Anyway, the animated Grinch with Vincent Price Boris Karloff, not Vincent Price. Those are two very different people. But yeah, and then now, not to bury the lead, because I know we'll get into it here in a little bit, but the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special will be on my rotation every year from now on.
There you go.
We're not there yet, Derek.
I know we're not there yet. Also, Home Alone. Who doesn't?
Home Alone is also in my and Jingle All the Way.
What about
That is
Home
a
Alone
guilty
2?
pleasure from one.
Those are my top threes.
I do love Home Alone 2. I was talking about that. My kids wanted to watch Home Alone the other day. Well, two of my kids wanted to watch Home Alone, and the other one's like, we already watched that. And I said, well, let's watch Home Alone 2. And my wife from the other room was just like, oh, not that one. I said, Home Alone 2 has Tim Curry in it. You watch your mouth. That's amazing.
What about
them men out there? Armed to the teeth.
Did you watch Home Alone, the remake they put out last year?
I did not. I've been burned by Home Alone sequels, so I didn't watch it, but I heard it wasn't bad.
I didn't watch it, but
I heard it wasn't terrible.
Literally said it.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that.
I was gonna say I forgot there was one. I just know somebody told me, "Hey, I watched that. Did you watch it?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "No, that's it." Okay, and I didn't. End of that story.
Well told.
Yeah.
It was very quick.
What you watch, Don?
Definitely Home Alone. I know you guys just said that, but that's like my number one that I have to watch. Like, I don't care what anybody says. That movie, I could watch it more than once. I could watch it year round. It's a Christmas movie, but I could watch that movie anytime, any place. I don't know. Is there real? I mean, Jingle All the Way, I'm kind of with, like, I like Jingle All the Way, but at the same time, I'm like, is this really good, or do I just like it because it's so, like, Schwarzenegger silly? You know what I mean? Right.
Yes.
But yeah, that's definitely up there. I don't know if any of you guys saw the I think Chris, you did. I know you did, but the Bill Murray Christmas
Scrooged?
special. Well, oh my God, Scrooged.
I was gonna
Scrooge.
say
If you're talking about Scrooge,
up there,
Scrooge
too.
is amazing.
Well, yes, okay, Scrooge too. But he also has like a Christmas special on Netflix from like
A Very
years
Murray
ago.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was
no,
like
I
a
never
variety
watched it.
show.
Yeah, I
That
never
is,
watched it.
and
It was really good.
that is my go-to. I watch that every year since it came out.
Really?
It's what I put on when we put up the Christmas tree. Every year since it's
Nice.
come out, that's what we've watched. Usually my wife puts up the tree. I'm drinking while just handing her things while I watch Bill Murray sing Christmas songs with Jenny Lewis. It's my jam. So that is definitely one that I
Nice.
always watch. That one, Krampus, has turned into
Oh,
a
yeah.
Okay.
one.
That's a
My
fun
wife
one.
loves that movie. So every year she's like, when can we watch Krampus? And then we always end up watching Die Hard. So that's the other controversial one in quotations.
I was going to ask that. I know that I don't want to hijack your show, but I was going to ask, do you guys have any fringe Christmas movies that you guys watch? Something that takes place during Christmas, but may not be an actual Christmas movie. And you answered already with Die Hard.
Die Hard.
See,
It's-
that's the one that comes to mind when people say cringe Christmas or cringe. I mean fringe Christmas.
Ugh.
Fringe Christmas.
Die Hard. Ugh.
Yeah, fringe holiday Christmas. People are like, yeah, Die Hard, and it's that eternal argument: is it a Christmas movie? And there's some people who think it is, and then there's some people who are wrong and think it's
Right.
not. So
It's Christmas movie at our house. We usually watch it every year. But yeah, Bill Murray, Very Murray Christmas
hmm
is just another 45 minute of just kind of watching songs and feel good. And
hmm
just has a good time. So that's always my go-to.
I think my fringe Christmas one, Derek, would be Batman Returns. I think we actually talked about this.
We did talk about that.
Yeah,
Derek and I also discussed that the first Home Alone, especially, his family was terrible to him. They were awful to him.
They were horrible people.
He's like 8.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden at the end, they're all just nice, and everyone's like,
yeah, we missed
Buzz
you,
is like,
pal.
it's pretty cool. You're pretty cool. You didn't burn the house down. Like, you've been a jag this entire time. What
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was talking to Colonel Bob about that, and I said, man, I don't know what Kevin's parents were doing, but if my brother-in-law yelled at one of my kids the way that his uncle yelled at him at the beginning, I'd knock that man out, kick him out of my house. I'm not
Look
taking
what you did,
France.
you little jerk.
In front of everybody.
Yeah,
In front of everybody.
Then everybody just ominously stares at him as
All
the
Kevin
milk
wanted.
drips from the counter.
All Kevin wanted was a slice of cheese pizza. It wasn't that big of a deal, and he didn't
Right.
want to get peed on.
I mean,
I don't think he's asking for too much.
I don't
those two
either. I think
things.
that's pretty reasonable.
Please don't
myself.
make me sleep in the basement. He pees up there. And can I have a slice of cheese pizza? Kevin, you're being ridiculous and unreasonable, okay? We don't negotiate with terrorists in this house, all right? Get your
Right.
ass in that attic.
put on those rubber sheets.
Right.
So, but
Fuller,
as you
West
said, we now have a new go-to for at least one person here so far who's
Yep.
ready to watch the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special going through every year is now going to be happening at Derek's house. So, real quick, see if we could do it real quick. We'll see. But how do you guys feel about just Guardians of the Galaxy as a whole? Like, do you
the
enjoy both
MCU.
movies? Pumped for the third volume? Is it your jam?
Yeah.
Isn't it? I'm assuming it mostly is, since this is what you guys talk about. And from what I know about you, I imagine to be pretty positive. But just kind of, what's your relationship with just the Guardians of the Galaxy in general?
Ian, go ahead.
I
Take it.
love them. I love both of them, and I'm definitely looking forward to the third one. And yeah, I think they're fun all around. They're funny, action packed, sad. They got everything that I want in a movie, and I love them. Love them.
Yeah, I agree with them. I've enjoyed both of the Guardians movies. I think they're great characters, especially the fact that they're so unknown and obscure characters. They did a really good job of making you care about these people that, I mean, even comic book fans, because I'm a big Marvel guy. That's what I read. And even I barely knew who the Guardians of the Galaxy were before that movie came out. So the fact that I now genuinely am concerned about a talking raccoon and whether or not he's going to die in the third one, because James Gunn's been pretty open about some, don't get attached to these guys. This is the last hurrah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's masterful filmmaking. And it's, I think that the quirkiness of James Gunn was a perfect pairing with the Guardians as a team. And I think that they're two of the better movies in the MCU. So yeah, I went into this with really high hopes because I do love the Guardians.
So then you were disappointed in their lack of being in Love and Thunder.
No, I didn't mind, because I thought that I wanted Love and Thunder to be Thor's movie. And I actually, I'm one of, again, I love Marvel. So, I'm gonna love everything. But I really enjoyed Love and Thunder, where a lot of people didn't. And I think it did what they needed to do. I was saying, okay, the last time we saw Thor, he was with the Guardians. We need to show them get rid of Thor and be done with it, and then they can go off to do what they need to do. So I thought it was the perfect amount for them to only be in it for a couple of minutes.
For what they
Even though I
were
would've
doing,
liked to
I
see
was
it more.
okay with it. My problem was that I was so excited at the end of Endgame that he went off with them that I was like, I want to see that movie. Like, I want to see
Right.
Thor in the Guardians of the Galaxy, like with hijinks, and the fact that it was just like, oh, bye. I was just like, oh.
Yeah, I understand, because it would have been nice to see the Asgardians of the Galaxy. I mean, that was a really interesting pairing, especially the idea that Star-Lord and Thor would have been butting heads as much as they did
Yeah.
at the end of Endgame. But yeah, I didn't mind it as much, but I can say that would have been a lot of fun to see that group moving forward and what they were going to do.
Yeah.
Which is what I was kind of expecting at the end of Endgame. I'm kind of with Chris. Like, I was hoping for, I didn't know what was going to come first, another Guardians movie or the next Thor. I think the timeline kind of got messed up in the release of these movies. But yeah, I was expecting a little more team up, but it was fine. I'm with you guys on your thoughts about the Guardians of the Galaxy. They're some of my favorite characters in the MCU. I think the first film is definitely, it was my top MCU film for quite a while, and I haven't. It hasn't moved much. It's definitely still top 3, I'd say, if I had to do a quick list in my head. Volume 2 I liked as well, and yeah, man, they've just always kind of been fun, and they're. I agree. It's fun that these obscure characters that not a lot of people knew about somehow come to the forefront now. Names like Star-Lord and Rocket Raccoon and Groot are household names. Like who would have ever thought that would come to pass? So
Right.
And soon to be Cosmo.
Yes.
Cosmo.
So happy for Cosmo.
Me too. So, Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special presentation on Disney Plus came out yesterday from when we were recording this. So the 25th it came out.
Mm-hmm.
So if you haven't watched it, go watch it because we're about to spoil it. So spoilers from here on out. But how do we feel about, did everybody like the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special?
You already know my answer, so I'm
going
to sit this question.
I didn't know if we needed to go do a round or just do a vote, because I mean, if everybody liked it, but if everyone someone didn't like it, I want that opportunity for them to be like, it was stupid, I hated it. So I wanted to just open that up because I was thinking, I'm being very positive that everybody had a good time with it.
All right, Ian, how about you? What'd you think?
I liked it.
Okay.
I guarantee you Derek thought I hated it, but I didn't. I liked it.
I was curious if you would have. I didn't think you would have hated it, but
I have this reputation
really
for hating all things, and I don't know where it came from.
No, it's just. I mean, it's Christmas. You don't like Christmas.
That's fair.
You're very, very, very outspoken about how much you hate Christmas. So I wasn't sure if this was going to be up your alley or not, because it is a very specific type of a thing. Werewolf by Night was definitely, it was like a little mini movie of a certain type, but this is very much in the vein of an old, like 70s, maybe even late 60s Christmas presentation that you would have seen on like network television or on so I wasn't 100% on whether or not you would have enjoyed it,
but it
did have that cheeseball moment in it a few times, and it was a little cringy on the dialogue for me, because I mean I got what they were going for, but I did not let it bother me, because I was just like, overall I thought it was good. It was fun.
Awesome.
Nice.
Chris, did you like it?
Yeah, it was okay. I had a good time. Christmas, Kevin Bacon, Cosmo. Minimal.
Can't ask for anything more.
No, I'm good. It was what I expected it to be, so I got more as we dive in, but yeah, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I feel kind of the same. I liked it. It is almost exactly what I thought it was going to be. So there wasn't any crazy like left turns that kind of just floored me or anything. But I enjoyed myself, and it was just kind of like a slice of fun. Nothing too. They weren't asking too much of us as viewers. Just kind of sit back and enjoy this holiday special we're putting out during holiday season. And if you just take it as that, and just if you like these characters, I can't see how you wouldn't just think this was another, like, it's a single issue of a Guardians adventure, that you're never going to get in a movie. This was their way to kind of present you with this, and I don't know, I thought it was good. And
shout out to Karen Gillan. Last name Gillam. Shout out to her, even though I don't know her name apparently, for getting in full like makeup garb for like 3 lines and half a second on screen.
She was not in much.
Some commitment there. To do all that. They didn't shortchange like Drax. They made him wear clothes, so they didn't have to do a full makeup job on him, just like his head and his arms to make him go. But she was full as far as I could tell. So kudos to her for that. One of the big takeaways that I noticed was obviously James Gunn loves him some music.
Oh yeah,
and I really enjoyed the fact that he uses obscure songs, like even with Guardians of the Galaxy, he used songs that but you either haven't heard for a while or haven't heard in that kind of context and really can set the scene or the mood with it. And he did it again in this one, I thought, where he was pulling up Christmas songs that I mean, a cover of "I Wish It Was Christmas Today" from Saturday Night Live, right, in the middle of this.
I couldn't believe that.
Awesome.
And you watching the credits later is like writing credits to Jimmy Fallon and Horatio Sands.
Right.
Yeah, which of course, then I spent the next 10 minutes afterwards watching all of those skits, and that song was in my head literally all day.
It'll do that.
That was what my takeaway.
Yeah. With the songs, James Gunn really does understand how music enhances the tone and the scene, and opening and closing with Fairy Tale of New York, which is one of my favorite Christmas songs, but it is a dark Christmas song. Like, it is not a happy story. It's about a bunch of guys that are drunk in a drunk tank in the police station singing about how this will probably be their last Christmas because they're all going to die, and this failed relationship between the two singers. It's a really depressing yet uplifting song, and it really fit the tone very well for the entirety of the special.
And I only know that song from A Very Merry Christmas.
Really?
They sing it in there, and that's where I know it from. So even when I was hearing that version of it, I'm picturing the other version of it, because that's the one I know.
Right.
And I thought that was random, because it was random in that to be in that special. So the fact that it popped up again, I was like, huh.
Because it is a random song. It's not overly popular. It's a really popular British song. The band that sings it, I believe, is Irish, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember. But either way, it's really popular in the UK, and not many people in the US know of it.
What did you guys think about them kind of opening this with the band? Basically, I'm assuming it's the old 97s, because I saw that. I'm not familiar with that band.
Is that Kevin Bacon's band?
I don't know that that's his band. I know I know he was playing with them at the end, but I don't recognize the band. But I love that song.
The opening song.
Oh my gosh, it was so funny.
That's what I was going to kind of say. Did it catch you off guard though? Like, I wasn't expecting it. Just kind of feel like, oh, we're doing this now. Kind of I don't know. I kind of started expecting this stuff from James Gunn a little bit with Peacemaker. His crazy opening sequence and just kind of doing things you don't expect to see in superhero shows or media. But it's just kind of like, all right, I'm feeling this, but it's just, I wasn't expecting it. I don't know.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting a full-on musical number in scene. You've got I can never remember the terms of, music that the characters can't hear versus music the characters can hear.
Right.
So I wasn't necessarily expecting that, but it caught me off guard, but in a great way, because it, again, just like the opening song setting the tone, that set the comedy for what we were going to see going forward. And I laughed out loud throughout that entire song, and listened to it on my route today a couple of times and giggled along with it.
Nice.
Yeah, I was caught off guard, but then immediately was like, I shouldn't have been. Like, it fit. So I was like, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The Star-Lord coming in with his like commentary during the song was like, all right, this is funny. I'm good with this.
And Groot really just jamming out to it in the back. Just
right.
Yeah. He
full on Tusken Raider.
Not quite teenage Groot, not adult Groot, but now he's kind of just like
man in bodysuit Groot.
Yeah.
Right. It looked like it could have been practical effects Groot now.
Practical effects Groot. My only gripe that I actually have was before that song, the opening with the cartoon. Why wasn't that claymation?
I didn't mind it because they rotoscoped that animation, which is incredible. And I can't believe they did that.
I mean, I liked it, but yeah, after the fact, I was like, man, they really should have claymationed that just to fit in with the Christmas theme.
It would have been great, because most people, when you think about a Christmas special, you would be, at least people of a certain age, think about claymation. I think of Rudolph or Frosty. Oh gosh, Frosty or what is the one with the Heat Miser and the Cold Miser, the Jack Frost specials that they did back then. So yeah, I think that it would have been awesome. I think probably because the amount of money it would have cost for them to actually do claymation probably would have been way more than the budget they had for those scenes.
Yeah, and you know, thinking about that
would have been amazing.
Even in that song, he talks about the elf that wants to be a dentist, which is straight out of Rudolph, I think. So it was just a thought I had with the claymation. Claymation would have been cool. So
very nice.
Obviously, the one of the big takeaways from the trailer for this was Kevin Bacon, and they said it in the beginning, introducing Kevin Bacon. So how did you feel about the Kevin Bacon side of this story? Did it fit? Was it obscure enough? Was it weird to go to present day LA looking for Kevin Bacon in a world that we now know Ant-Man and Black Widow and all these people exist?
I'm gonna let Ian take that one. I feel like I've talked to the entirety of the.
I feel like I'm used to you talking way too much, Derek.
I am loquacious. I can't help it.
I do think it's kind of weird seeing them go to Earth and people not knowing anything about like aliens and stuff like that, but they're supposed to be in the same universe as this big attack on New York and stuff. But it's just kind of strange that how people were reacting to him, but at the same time, like, it didn't really bother me that much. I did think Kevin Bacon's reaction was great, because you got to think, like, being Kevin Bacon for so long, he probably has dealt with his fair share of like crazy people trying to like come to his house and jump his gate and stuff like that. So just the fact that like people are coming up and like pushing his doorbell 100 freaking times, and he's just like, "Hey guys, no thanks, not tonight." It's just so calm and so chill and relaxed about it. And even when they come up to his door and start ringing his doorbell, he's like, "Not cool." Like, he's not freaking out. "I'll call the cops. They're gonna be here soon."
Yeah.
And then Drax busting through the window. I think Kevin Bacon is awesome in everything Kevin Bacon does.
Yeah,
I'm not saying Kevin Bacon movies are good, but Kevin Bacon is usually good, at least.
Yeah, I agree with that statement completely.
Yeah, there's some bad Kevin Bacon movies, but it's not because of Kevin Bacon, in my opinion.
I was just mad they never did a Tremors reference. Like, I really wanted him to talk about, they talked about all his movies and all the times he was a hero, and I kept waiting for him to be like, when he fought the underground worms.
Yeah, right.
That seemed like low hanging fruit.
But would Peter
probably wouldn't have known about it, though. I
That's
think
what I
he
was
probably
go-
was already gone.
That's true.
That's what I was going to say. Peter wouldn't have been old enough to. Yeah, that would have come after his time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. I forget about that timeline. Yeah, because I think Tremors was like 1990.
Yeah, I couldn't remember when Peter was abducted.
I think he was abducted in like 88 or 87, something like that.
Oh, he missed Tremors. That sucks.
I know, that does suck, because he would have.
Poor kid.
He would have loved Tremors. Tremors, amazing.
Tremors, yeah.
I loved Kevin Bacon in this. I liked the fish out of water aspect with Drax and Mantis. Everything that they were doing. It was a little odd seeing them in present day LA, especially because they were in front of the Chinese theater, which they rebuilt completely perfectly well, like without any issues from Iron Man 3 when it got blown up and almost killed Happy. But I really I thought that Kevin Bacon was great, especially because he was so believable as himself to where he was just, when Mantis started to put him under the trance, the change on his face, when he started changing his voice, like, "Oh yeah, I'm a private in the British Army and during World War II, and I'm Batman. No, I'm Bruce Wayne." And then normally that would have really pissed me off, but I'm doing good. I'm feeling good. And
DC Comics exists in the MCU now. We know, it's confirmed.
Yeah, 100%.
Why? Oh, Batman.
Yeah. Well, and also
didn't even think about that.
We've gotten a Batman reference and a Superman reference in the MCU, because we got a Superman reference in Eternals.
Did they?
Yeah, talking about Icarus flying, shooting lasers from his eyes. They mentioned
that now.
Yeah,
I do. I know there was part of me that was hoping Peacemaker was going to walk out at some point during this. I was like, man, they could do it. They could do it, and that would be kind of cool.
He did sneak John Cena's face there into the like stars home maps. I noticed that.
Yeah, he was on there with Margot Robbie. On the map to the stars. He was one of the faces on there.
Was he? I didn't see. I saw Mark Paul Gosselaar, but I didn't see.
Well, it's because you can't see me.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I couldn't see him. So was this the Drax Mantis spinoff that they were always talking about? Was this the closest we're going to get to that? Because I know they were talking about wanting to do a movie at some point, somewhere between James Gunn going to DC and in there, that all kind of fell apart. But was this kind of the main idea? And it was now seeing like a sample of it. Is it something that you would want to see or wish we see, like want to go to another multiverse and find it?
Ian, what do you think, man? I have my thoughts on that, but
I don't really have a lot of thoughts on it, honestly. Like it's not a bad concept, so to say, because they are entertaining together. But like, I don't know if I personally necessarily want to watch a whole movie, TV series, any kind of spinoff with just the two of them. That's not to downplay either one of the characters. I think they're great characters, but I just feel like personally, for me, they work better in a group. And they were decent in the show, but that's because we only had like 45 minutes, and they weren't alone for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
It was probably roughly like I'd say 20. It was just the two of them going on their little adventure, so to say, and him forgetting to put the cloak on and turning it on right in front of her. It's just that was definitely like funny, and it made me chuckle a few times. But again, and like she is badass. The way she handled those cops, I thought was really well done. But I just, like I said, I don't know if I want an entire spin-off of a movie or TV series with just the two of them. Personally, I'd watch it, but I'm not begging for it.
yeah, I think that was pretty much my thoughts as well. I don't know if this was always the plan, but I think it was the best outcome we could have gotten, because I think if they would have tried to do anything more than what they did here, it would get grating after a while. Because as much as I love Drax and as much as I love Mantis, especially Mantis in this special, she was great. Those are characters you don't want to spend a full movie with necessarily, because there's no end to it. Like Drax is always laughing, like hysterically loud, and Mantis is always confused about everything. And I think that it would become grating if it was longer than what we had. Because I think the time that we had in this was perfect, just the right amount where I never got annoyed about either one of their weird little quirks. I never felt like it was going too long. I never wondered what the other Guardians were doing when they were on screen. So whether this was the plan all along, I think it was the best outcome.
For sure. Yeah, I'm just kind of looking at it as, I'm glad. To me, this was more or less Mantis's like breakthrough, her true introduction to us, maybe as viewers. She's always kind of just been in the background, and a humor line character, basically. But I really liked her coming to the forefront of this. I think that actress does a really great job with the character. And like you just kind of said, I don't think we were ever going to get a focus on her in a film. You know what I mean? She was always going to kind of be the in the back member of the Guardians, kind of doing her thing. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. And her and Drax playing off each other. Now Drax, I don't know. I love Drax, but I think he's gotten definitely more and more goofy as time passes. Like in the first film, he did have his, little sarcastic, dry lines, but now it's just kind of like, dude, everything you're saying is just kind of big goof
out
guy.
there. Yeah.
He's just
he didn't crack jokes in the first one. Like his humor came from his misunderstanding of things.
It was a very dry humor.
It was very dry,
right.
but and then he kind of was coming out a little bit. But then by the time you hit that second one, it was like, I have jokes and I'm silly, and I'm going to stand still so you can't see me, and it's funny. But at the same time, it's just when it's only kind of him, funny. When the spotlight's on him, it becomes a lot sillier.
Agreed.
So definitely, I think this was good for that. Good for Mantis as a character. Good to further Drax, kind of Star-Lord, Rocket, Groot in the background. But we've seen a ton of them. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was just kind of good to get those B characters, if you want to call them, out in the forefront a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Did we know ahead of time? When did we find out that Mantis was Peter's sister?
I found out yesterday morning.
Yeah, in
this special. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that it didn't surprise me, but it was never stated on film that she was, because in Guardians Volume 2, she says Ego found me. She never expresses that he was her father. So this would be the first time that we got confirmation that she was actually Peter's sister.
Well, do we like this decision? Does it seem like it's going to affect anything, or is it just kind of an extra thing to be like, oh, that's cool, or
like a neat moment?
Yeah,
it worked for the Christmas special.
Yeah, I actually have thoughts on that.
Of course you do.
Give them to
us. I really do. So I actually think now this may not happen. I could be grasping at straws, but I think that when with them saying that she is Ego's daughter, that makes her half celestial. And if that is the case, that could be setting up Mantis to being one of the most important characters in the MCU during Phase 5. Because Kang is the big bad, we know that the Celestials are going to play a very, very big part in it. And there was a Mantis's longest running storyline in the comics was in the 70s, where she became the Celestial Madonna, which was Kang wanted to marry her and take her away. And I can't remember all the specifics of it, but it ends with her being prophesied as the being that was going to become like a spirit, like getting rid of her physical body, becoming a spirit, and literally giving birth to like the celestial messiah of the universe. And so if they go anywhere near that storyline, the fact that Kang is going to be a big part of Phase 5, Mantis could now be one of the most important characters going forward. And I think it would be hilarious that we got the beginnings of that, the little seed of that, in something as silly as a 45-minute Christmas special.
Yeah. That'd be pretty wild. I would welcome that, actually.
Yeah, that sounds cool. I don't know much about that. Like I said, it's all a deep cut for me, but that's cool.
The only reason I know is because I was snatching up as many like trade paperbacks of Avengers that I could have, like about 15, 20 years ago. And I came across one that had this character on the front that looked like a bug lady, and it said Celestial Madonna. And I thought that sounds cool. And it's a super dry read and hard to get through, but by God, I read that whole thing, and it was it's an interesting story. It is a crazy story. One that they would have to heavily change in an adaptation.
Yeah.
But it's there. The seeds are there. The fact that she's Ego's daughter, that makes her half celestial, like Star-Lord is.
Mm-hmm.
And so that could put it into place.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Anything to kind of bring the Eternals and Celestials and kind of that all back to the forefront would be cool in my eyes. So I'd be down for that. My other question, Cosmo, this was his first appearance too, or her first appearance. It sounded like a girl, right? I'm playing the Guardians of the Galaxy game where it's male.
Yeah,
yes. That's a great game, by the way.
I always read Cosmo as a male voice when I'm reading the comics, but yeah, it was a female.
But this is their first appearance, right? Were they in volume 2?
In voice, yes, but Cosmo actually was in volume 1, in the collector's vault.
Yeah,
and then also in the post-credit scene where Howard the Duck said, "Oh, you let that thing lick your face? Gross." Where Cosmo's licking the collector's face at the end. And I don't remember if Cosmo was in volume 2 or not. I'd have to go back and look. But this is the first, other than just like a visual gag of, hey, comic readers know what Cosmo is.
Yeah.
This is the first real appearance.
Like Cosmo's part of the team now, part of the squad, you know?
Yeah.
As she should be. It's in there. Took me a minute to catch the Russian. I was like, I want the Russian accent because at first it didn't sound like it. But then
I thought that too. I was like, why does that sound like an American child, a small American child?
Yeah, it took me until later because I'm telling my wife, I'm like, Cosmo's supposed to be Russian. It's got the Russian really cosmonaut suit.
But in the Guardians of the Galaxy game, he is a very thick Russian accent.
Super thick, yeah.
Well, what's funny is the actress that's portraying that's doing the voice has a very thick, like Eastern European accent. It's she was in Borat 2. She was the female lead, like Borat's wife or whoever. Can
you give us a better reference, please?
No, that's the only thing I know. That's the only thing I know, and I've not seen the movie. I saw a clip of her in that movie, and
I think she got nominated for an Oscar for that.
I guarantee it. You know, Borat is highly decorated. It was
which is crazy.
I'll take your word for it. I've never seen a Borat.
The first Borat was not good enough for me to watch the second, so I can't tell you anything about it either.
Yeah, I saw it because of hype, and I cannot tell you a damn thing that happened in that movie. And
I remember one very unfortunate thing that happened in the first movie with a naked chase through a hotel.
I do vaguely recall that. Now that you're saying it,
and a very long censor bar.
Yeah. Oh boy. And now Borat's gonna be our Mephisto, right?
So now this was our second special presentation that the MCU has now put on here on Disney Plus. So, and we talked with you all for the first one. So how do we feel about it now that we've gotten two special presentations? Is this something that they should be doing moving forward or continue, or, what you think, Ian?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, you just ride the high, ride the momentum. Werewolf by Night was fantastic. We've all talked about how great the style was and the theme and everything was on that. So this one being a holiday special. I don't know, did they use the word Christmas during or was it just the holiday special? Is that what it was called?
They say Christmas a lot in the actual
special.
The name is holiday special, but right. they did say Christmas a lot. So.
Gotcha. So either way, holiday, Christmas, whatever. Like, I think you keep going. I don't know how far you go with it. I don't know if there's a Thanksgiving special, a New Year's Eve special, an Easter special, as Kevin Bacon kind of hinted towards. So I don't know, but I'd watch it. I think it's good. You don't want to. I will say, like, you definitely don't want to overdo it because you got a good thing going. You definitely don't want to beat it into the ground. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or do you?
Well, I think that they've been talking. There have been a lot of reports.
Yeah, we get it. You're best friends with Kevin Feige, okay? You don't have to.
God, if I was best friends with Kevin Feige, buddy, you would know.
You know what Kev always says.
But there have been reports that they're really looking into doing more of these specials, and not just as holiday themed specials. I mean, there was a talk that we may see something when they introduce characters like Silver Surfer. A lot of the cosmic level characters that they're wanting to introduce, instead of introducing them in a Disney Plus series or in a feature, they're talking about possibly putting those on Disney Plus as a special presentation, so that way they've got basically a one shot, introduce the character, then when they show up in something else, Nova is one that they've said may show up in a special presentation. Silver Surfer may show up in a special presentation. They've talked about there was some talk of maybe Quasar, but now there's reports and rumors that he may actually be in Ant-Man 3. But so I think that they're going to try this out. They've had two so far. They've both been a hit. And I think that it's a really good model moving forward. I think that they had a really hard time finding their legs on pacing issues with the Disney Plus series. And so the idea that, okay, we can do basically the same thing we've been doing, but with a tight, compact, and concise story where we don't have to try and figure out how we're going to stretch that over 6, 8, 9 weeks. I think that it's a smart thing to do. It utilizes Disney Plus in a really, really intelligent way. And also it gives you an opportunity to then release this physically very easily. I think that they should really be thinking about, if they're not yet, releasing these special presentations on physical media, because not only then do you get the people that are on Disney Plus that you're going to get the subscription numbers from, you're going to get people that are still clinging onto physical media. Ian's one of them. Ian's collecting 4K DVD, Blu-ray, trying to build up that physical collection. And I think that if they have something as quick and easy as a special presentation, they can throw it on with 2 or 3 special features, get it out, and make some more money off of it. And so I think that we're going to see a lot of special presentations. And until they start to not get the reception that they're getting now, I think they're going to run with them. And I think it's a good idea.
Most definitely. I'm with both of you guys. I think, like you said, these two have kind of been well received, so I don't see any reason for them to stop now. But I also don't want an overkill on it. So you can kind of maybe go the same. Marvel has this way of 3 shows a year, 3 movies a year. Give us 3 special presentations a year, and I think we're good there. I like it as a way to introduce us to new characters that you maybe can't build an entire movie or show around, but also a way to kind of do something like this, where just a little special, like off to the side adventure for the Guardians of the Galaxy. We're not going to know what they're doing in Volume 3 during Christmas, but we want to know now. Give us this special for 45 minutes, and I'm already picturing all these ways we can use these on characters that already exist and characters that we haven't met yet. So I think it's actually a good idea. People have short attention spans too. You know what I mean? Like, some people don't want to commit to Now, all of us, we love this stuff. We want to sit down and watch the full series for 8-9 weeks. But some people like,
Right.
a 45-minute special about a superhero. I can actually handle this.
Right.
So I think it's smart all around, and they're using it well, and I think they're onto something with it. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, and I think that also, I'm sorry to cut you off. I just had another quick thought. I think that it's a really intelligent way to get out of the trap that they fell into in like phase 1 of Marvel, and a trap that I think that they've fallen into a little bit in phase 4 of trying to put things into movies, into their features that don't necessarily need to be there. And the biggest one that I'll say, even though I loved the character, I'm looking forward to her. I thought that the story that Ironheart had in Wakanda Forever took away from the overall story of the movie. I think you could have cut out that entire story from the movie, replaced it with something much simpler, and you wouldn't have missed out on anything, and the movie would have been a little shorter. And I think that it would have been, for the people that thought it was too long, they would have liked it a little more. And instead of doing that, take that storyline of Riri and put it into a special presentation, so that then you've got it set up for the Disney Plus show moving forward. So I think legacy characters, I think they could do that really well for. But I do think that that's one thing that they stumbled on. Like Iron Man 2, as much as I love Iron Man 2, they were pushing for the continuation of the MCU, and that film got a little cluttered with extra stuff. And I think that Wakanda Forever suffered from it as well. And if they can do that in a special presentation, instead of trying to push a character into a movie that doesn't have to be there, I think that the overall universe is just going to feel more lived in, more cohesive, and just have a better reception overall.
I think the other trap that they fall into that we've noticed in this past 2 years, or however long they've been doing these shows on Disney Plus, is it always seems like to me that there's a lot of wasted space in these shows. Like usually it turned into the whole episode 4 is when you're finally going to know what the show's about. And then you're like, oh, there's only 6 episodes in this, and we spent 4 episodes going, what's going on? And then episode 4 happens. You're like, oh, this is what's going on. I wish I would have known that. And then it's like, well, why did they do all these episodes where we did nothing for these last 2 bangers of an episode? And then you're just kind of like, feel like there's a lot of wasted space. So when they're hitting these special presentations now and they're 45 minutes and you just go, I'm just like, I like this, my short attention span and everything. I could sit and watch 45 minutes all day, but I don't want to sit and watch 6 hours of a TV show.
Right.
Yeah. These special presentations have no choice but to get to the point. Like there's no beating around the bush. Like get us to the meat of this thing. So for a lot of us, that's a good thing. And
it feels like a one shot, like, for the people that read comics, it felt like a one shot comic, and that's a good thing. They did that for a while where they were doing the one shot short specials on Blu-ray releases. Of course, now they're on Disney Plus. But I actually like this format better. Those shorts were a lot of fun, but there wasn't much to them. The idea that they may do more of this going forward makes me very, very excited for what they're going to do with it.
Yeah, absolutely. You got me super excited for a Silver Surfer one. Just that idea would be kind of.
I know. I hope so. That would be awesome.
Cool. Silver Surfer. I still enjoyed his first appearance in the MCU, even if it's in Fantastic Four.
That's not technically the MCU, Chris. Come on, get it right.
His first appearance on TV or whatnot. I don't know.
I also heard a rumor about maybe some Ghost Rider special presentation. That one had me excited.
Yeah, I've heard that as well.
With Nicolas Cage?
I hope so. I hope so. Come on.
That would be...
maybe take his face off.
I like it a lot. Any final thoughts on Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special?
Are we going to get another one? There was a fourth wall break in the post credit scene.
You saw that? Yeah.
I
wonder.
I'm curious, with James Gunn not being able to, or probably not working for Marvel after Guardians Volume 3 with his new deal at DC. I don't know if they'll do another holiday special.
I think that line is not random, though. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, I guess we're going to have to decide after Volume 3 and see where we sit with this team and how the entire, Guardians team is going to look going forward. Like you said, James Gunn's involvement is probably going to be very minimal moving forward, but Yeah, man. I liked it. The more we're sitting here and talking about it, I'm like, yeah, I did like that. Okay, I like that more than I thought. But yeah, I had. It's just fun. It's something you didn't have to think too much about. Between Thanksgiving and Christmas, I just like to feel jolly, and I like to feel holly and merry. So this definitely accomplished that.
Who are Holly and Mary?
They're in the closet over here. But yeah, no, it was totally fun, man. I'm glad it exists. I'm glad to see another little adventure with this team. It's a fun team, always has been. So I got no complaints. Ian,
I got no complaints either. No, I thought it was fun. I do hope to see more in the future. Like I said, I don't know if I want to see too much more. I don't want to be, don't waterboard us with too much holiday special, but definitely wouldn't mind seeing something in the future. I don't know if it would be like you guys said, something we've already seen, like Guardians like this, or if they introduce like Ghost Rider or maybe another character, so to say. But
King's Multiverse Father's Day.
Yes. Yes. I'm here for it.
Visiting all the different versions of different superheroes' dads.
Yes. I'm okay with that.
Who's your daddy? So yeah, I want to know as we wrap this up, Derek, what was the rocket joke that made you laugh out loud?
So when Kevin Bacon comes out of the box and they take him out of the trans, and Rocket just says, just calm down. Nobody's going to hurt you. We're not going to hurt you. And he says, oh my God, a talking raccoon. And he switches from, we're not going to hurt you to, I'm going to kill you. You don't call me that. And literally Groot has to catch him as he dives at Kevin Bacon's face. I laughed so hard. I had to pause it because I couldn't hear what Star-Lord said to Kevin Bacon. I had to back it up a little bit. I thought that was so laugh out loud funny.
that was good.
I thought
Nobody's going to hurt you.
The Star-Lord, this is human trafficking.
Yeah.
Take Kevin Bacon back to Earth.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Rocket didn't do too much, but he had a good Christmas there. He got Bucky's arm and everything.
Yes, he got Bucky's arm.
Yeah, how long had she been holding that thing?
Right.
How long did she have
Saving
that
it for the
thing?
perfect moment.
And
I'll take this.
do all celebrities decorate their house for Christmas when they have a wall around it and nobody can see the decorations? Shouldn't have all those decorations been turned towards the house so they could enjoy them? Who is enjoying those decorations?
I don't know.
You're getting too mad
Drax.
now.
Drax certainly enjoyed a funny little man.
He definitely enjoyed the funny little man. But yeah, I thought that was my first thought afterwards, or when I'm watching it. And they jumped over the wall, and I'm like, why would they decorate their house? There's a wall there. Nobody could see them.
They see through the little slits in the gate. Walk up.
Yeah. Oh, look at
he's got
Christmas
candy canes.
decorations.
Look at the candy canes.
Kevin Bacon. Yeah.
Kevin Bacon's awesome.
All right.
Even though he's an actor.
Actors suck, apparently. The Guardians of the Galaxy do not like actors.
Yeah, that
They
gate
do
to me
not.
seemed like like a terrible gate. I was like, I feel like a lot of people could climb over that.
Right.
Why isn't everybody just coming up to Kevin Bacon's house? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, the way he sounded, it sounded like they do.
Right.
He was ready for it.
Yeah, he was.
That's an
he was
everyday
ready.
occurrence.
Also, we never mentioned the fact that Mantis robbed a woman.
Yeah.
Just straight up robbed her.
That seemed
Give me all your money.
out of place to me. I was just like, oh, that's not good.
It's like,
Also-
we're just robbing people now?
Also, Drax did know the rules, by the way. Roman Day at the end of Guardians Volume 1 told him very clearly he's not allowed to kill people
It's true.
because that's murder. It's like the worst crime that you could commit.
Yeah, you are right about that. Oops.
And was it a little weird that the only action in this was them just beating up cops?
And
That's
yeah.
true.
I was gonna say,
Or chasing Kevin
Or
Bacon
chasing
to his
Kevin
home.
Hey,
running
good on
for his
Kevin
life.
Bacon for jumping from the second story of his house. I was watching
I
that.
kind
I
of
watched
thought
it a
that
second
too.
time.
I was like, "Good Lord, no hesitation!" And
Yeah.
he didn't mess up his hands like Jackie Chan and Super Cop.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, he was
Well, I
he
looked
was
at-
committed.
Yeah, and I was watching that before we got on here. I watched it with my wife and my kids, and I was just like, man, Kevin Bacon's like 60 years old in his 60s, something like that. Good. He recovered from that fall really well. I mean, I know he's in good shape, but that's impressive. If I jumped off a balcony, I would not be hopping right up and running down the street.
I would have never jumped off the balcony. I wouldn't be on the balcony. I don't like heights.
I can just imagine when Kevin Bacon got the call from like Kevin Feige, like, you're going to join the MCU. He's like, oh, this is awesome. Like, who do you want me to be? Am I Magneto? Am I Professor X? Like, no, we need you to be Kevin Bacon.
We need you to be Kevin Bacon. Sorry, you must have missed it. This is Kevin Bacon. I am aware.
But we
I
need
can
you
do
to
that.
be Kevin
Just
Bacon.
do that. Whatever you do when you're Kevin Bacon, do that.
Yeah, but we're going to rule you out of any other future roles in the MCU because we've established now that Kevin Bacon exists. So Kevin Bacon can't be someone else.
They're like, he was in an X-Men movie. That's as close as he's going to get.
He
It's
was in an X-Men
Yep.
movie. I forgot about that.
Yeah, he was in First Class.
I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
That's a great movie.
I love First Class.
It was the only one of those.
Thank you. I've been saying
I
the
liked.
same thing. They've just
Agreed.
progressively gotten worse.
They really did. They got worse and worse. I've never seen a series get worse. Usually
Yeah.
they
To the
top
point
out
where
at
I
like
didn't
2
even
or
watch
3,
Dark
not
Phoenix.
1.
No, it was funny because at the point when Dark Phoenix came out, I forgot it was even a thing. And then like a few months ago, somebody mentioned it, and I was like, "What movie is that?" And they're like, "Dark Phoenix." I was like, "Is that coming out?" And they're like, "No, it's out." And I looked up. I was like, "Oh, I forgot that existed." I've watched all of them, but that one. And I thought,
Mhm.
you know, I've seen them all. I might as well watch that one. And then something else in my head told me, "Why would you need to do that? You're good. You're fine. You've survived.
You don't-
you didn't even remember it existed. Just
You don't need to do that.
just move on with your life."
Just don't forget New Mutants.
Well, there's that too. I haven't watched that.
I
either,
still
'cause
haven't watched it.
I haven't either. We don't talk about New Mutants.
I was to say I've heard.
I have not
terrible
heard
things.
anything good about it.
No.
I watched it, but I don't remember it.
That's the best review I've heard of it.
Right?
That's all you need. No, I'll put that in the title too. We
I
also
feel
talk
like I've
New
seen it.
Mutants. You don't need to watch New Mutants. So I think that should wrap us up for this episode, talking all about Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special with our friends from Paperweight Entertainment. Guys, if you want to do your spread here, where can everyone find you? Where are you doing your things? What days you drop? All that good stuff.
Yeah, I'll take that, Ian, if you would like me to. Paperweight Entertainment drops reviews, TV reviews, like I said, every Friday. Silver Screen Scoundrels movie reviews drop every Wednesday. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Also, the video versions of all of our episodes drop on YouTube same day as the audio. If you need to get a hold of us for any reason, or you want to check out our merch that we have available, paperweightentertainment.com has all the links to everything that you need. Please come see us.
Please.
Please.
Oh,
And
yeah.
all that information will be down in the description of this episode right next to ours. So as well, if you want to reach out to us, you know where to find us. Raised Geek, Twitter, Instagram, raisedageek@gmail.com. And we want to thank you guys for coming on out and spending some time with us talking about the Christmas season.
Oh, thanks for having us, man. As
Been a blast.
Blast as always.
So
We
hopefully
went,
do
we
it-
went 2 for
Get
2
outta
here.
here.
We went 2 for 2 here, guys. This is good. We made it.
So, I mean, for our relationship, we better hope they keep doing special presentations.
Right.
They better keep doing holiday specials. If not, I just don't know. When we're ever
Because
gonna
now we won't know what to talk about if we don't have holiday specials. We
Just being
can't,
there
you know.
awkwardly talking.
With that, I think that's just going to wrap us up. So thank you guys for coming on out.